What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in the Far End of the Bench podcast channel. This is episode 2 of the Stories of the Bench. This is where we go through. We have our website, feotbpod.org. You can find all written content that we produce there. If you like written content, but you don't like reading it yourself, this is a great chance and a great opportunity for you, the Stories of the Bench. We will take a look at one of the blogs that was written recently on feotbpod.org. Most recent topic that we covered is Greg Popovich. It is now official. He is not going to be the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs moving forward. Greg Popovich, the legacy that shaped the NBA. Yes, we have a non-basketball guy tackling, pun intended, a major basketball topic. This is one of those times where the event's significance and the person's impact supersedes sports performance. Greg Popovich has left a legacy during his coaching tenure that has been legendary and deserves to be discussed in the sports world. A sudden shift in the spotlight. Back in November, Popovich was forced into the background and has not been on the sideline since he had a stroke. The wise old grandpa is known for his temper and sarcasm and has racked up the league's most wins in coaching history. If he never takes his famed place again, the NBA would lose the longest tenured coach in major U.S. leagues and the architect of one of the NBA's greatest dynasties. His absence would leave a void in the San Antonio organization, especially with the recent season-ending injury to Victor Wembanyama due to deep vein thrombosis and an equally large hole in the league overall. In his early life and career, Greg Popovich was born in 1949 in East Chicago, Indiana. Growing up in a state known for its love and passion of the game, he went through the Air Force Military Academy and served 5 years in the military following his graduation. After his career, Popovich began as an assistant coach on staff around the league before finally finding his home in San Antonio in 1988. He was an assistant coach for a long time before he started building his dynasty in San Antonio. In 1996, Popovich had become the head coach of the Spurs after a controversial firing of Bob Hill. Many wondered whether it was the right direction for the franchise and if Popovich truly deserved to lead the team. His first major decision as coach was to build a foundation around Tim Duncan, who was drafted in 1997, followed by the acquisition of David Robinson. By 1998-1999 season, it was clear that the Spurs were ready to challenge the established order in the West. From 1999 to 2014, the Spurs secured 5 NBA championships under Popovich's leadership, capturing titles in 1999, 2003, 2005, 2007, and 2014. The franchise also enjoyed a streak of 22 straight professional playoff appearances, which ended in 2019. With Duncan and a supporting cast of international stars like Tony Parker from France and Manu Ginobili from Argentina, Popovich redefined how a dynasty is built, emphasizing fundamentals and team play over individual star power. The post-Popovich era and future prospects. Since Popovich's absence, the Spurs have attempted to rally behind stars like Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama, the latter of whom, as mentioned earlier, won't be the team for the rest of the season, with Mitch Johnson stepping up as head coach and posting a 21-27 record. The current strategy appears to lean towards acquiring more assets this offseason and developing young talent. Only with these moves will the true direction of the coaching situation become clear. Legendary culture and lasting impact. Greg Popovich's legacy is defined by a winning culture much like that of Miami in the South. When players joined the Spurs, they did so knowing they were entering a system that prized teamwork and a discipline, ego-free approach that outshined expensive individual stardom. Beyond mentoring stars like Tony Parker, Popovich played a significant role in developing two-time Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard from his San Diego State days into the superstar he is today. Dubbed the godfather of pace and space, Popovich was relentless in adapting his strategies to the evolving game, a factor that explains the recent struggles of the Spurs in his absence. His lasting impact extends well beyond his own team. The coaches he has mentored and influenced: Mike Budenholzer in Milwaukee, Steve Kerr in Golden State, and Ime Udoka in Houston, amongst others, owe much of their success to the San Antonio system and Popovich's guidance. Additionally, his stints coaching USA basketball cemented his status as a revered figure in the sport. His post-game press conferences, laced with dry humor and candid observations, will leave a void in the sports world that few can fill. If you have not listened to episode 220 of the Far End of the Bench podcast, Nico and I discuss Greg Popovich and the legacy that will be left without him on the sidelines. Thank you very much for tuning in to episode 2 of the Stories from the Bench series here on the Far End of the Bench podcast channel. Follow at FEOTB Pod, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and be sure to keep up, ring the notification bell. New episodes every week. March Madness, NCAA wrestling, and the NHL and NBA playoffs right around the corner here from the Far End of the Bench podcast.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.